Fishing friends, great time to go surf fishing. Well, no, they closed the beach. They closed the beach. Okay, good reason. I understand it, but it doesn't mean I don't want to be down there. You know, the blues are running, the whiting, the puffer, my favorite fish, puffer, would be down there in the surf right now. Just wait there like, why aren't you catching me, Sands, in the surf? Come get me. Well, we're gonna have to go fishing though. We're gonna have to get out somehow. We're gonna have to go out in Davis Canal. Are there fish in Davis Canal in the spring? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, I'll be honest, I'm not a big spring fisherman on Davis Canal. I mean, I really want to be in the surf. That's where I usually am. But I looked into it. I'm like, supposedly there's some trout out here. So I'm going to try a couple of different methods. I had a couple of afternoons. So I started off by I'm going to try a popping cork and doing an artificial shrimp underneath it and just see if there's anything out there. And I can tell you that I'm not very good at catching trout. I tried the popping cork. This is one afternoon, and I tried it in some shallow water in the canal. It was very windy this week, so it didn't work. So I was like, well, let me try a different artificial shrimp. This is one I got in my mystery tackle box. And I said, well, I'll try this one in a little bit deeper water and see if maybe they're there. I do sometimes catch them in the deeper water where the shelf between the low and the high water, they'll be there, but I didn't catch any. So I tried this paddle tail, and I said, oh, I'll definitely catch one on the paddle tail because I like those. And again, I tried this in the deeper water, and then I took the same paddle tail I took it into some of the creeks, in the back creeks. I was everywhere. I was trying all these different baits, and this is every afternoon last week. Different tides too, right? Sometimes low, sometimes high, and even a white grub here, and I gave that one a whirl, and I could not catch any. So finally I was like, obviously there's no fish in Davis Canal is really what it comes down to, right? It's not me, it's the fish. They're not participating, they're social distancing. So yesterday I was like, I'm just going to go out in the skiff and I'm going to take just some shrimp and just catch some croaker, at least make myself happy. And of course, what do I catch? I catch a trout on a piece of frozen cut shrimp after all that all week trying the different plastics, soft plastics. But obviously he's not a monster, but it's just funny to me that after all that I catch a trout. So anyway, he went back in the water, and then I fished around and I caught what I expected to catch, like spot. I've caught a couple of spot. They're kind of small. I'm not keeping them, but it's just good to see spot running. And then of course croaker. Now this was a big croaker. I was like, this might be a citation sized croaker. I'm actually going to measure him and see how big he is. So I took him down over to my little measuring stick there, and I put him down, and he was 17 inches. No, just kidding. He was about 10 inches, but for a croaker, that's pretty big. Of course, if you decide to eat those, cutting off the head, they're only about 2 inches of meat and 7 inches of head. Well, that would be like 8 inches. Okay, I'm not good at math. Anyway, then I finally got what I was looking for, and that was a black drum. Black Drum put up such a great fight, and I thought, oh, this guy's a monster. So I'm reeling him in. I'm like, I gotta get the net. I gotta get the net. So I get the net, and I throw him up there. After such a big fight, he must have been 18 inches, right? But I got out my measuring stick, and no, he was a little short. He was he was just under 14 inches. He's about 13 inches, and I was like, maybe I can pull the tail out. I was like, no. So he went back in the water. But now I felt good because I knew I was catching some. So what I found was I wasn't catching him in the middle of the canal, where I have caught them before, but I was catching them really close to the edge of the marsh, maybe 10 feet from the shore. And once I figured that out, I started catching them. I caught 4 of them actually. So this is number 2, and he was a little bit bigger, and I was happy with that. So he was about 14 inches, but he still wasn't the monster I was hoping for, right? But again, the fight, these things just put up such a great fight. Now the camera's all over the place. I apologize for that. I didn't have it totally strapped in when I caught this guy. I tighten it up for the next fish. All right, so here he is. I'll throw him on the measuring board, and he comes out to about 14 inches. So legally a keeper, but still not the fish I'm looking for. So we're going to keep trying to catch some more, right? So again, same kind of idea there, about 10 feet from the shore, probably where the drop's starting to happen. I mean, I don't know if they would have been closer or not, but maybe. Black drum like to seek out the fish. They like to find the bait. I mean, they like to find it, so you can just let it sit there for a while. And if you don't have any hits by croaker, a lot of times it means a black drum's around. At least in my experience, that's been the case. If I start catching a lot of croaker, I'm usually not going to catch a black drum after that. The black drum come first. Maybe they're like bullies. Anyway, I got this guy, and I was like, all right, now I'm getting a nice sized black drum. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I got a keeper. I'm going to make a smoked fish dip with him. And then after that, I just fished a little bit more, and I got one more, and I'm reeling him in, and I'm reeling him in, and I'm like, wow, maybe I'll have another size keeper here, and I'm reeling him in, and then like when you're just fishing and you just know it's probably time to go home, your luck's run out, and then it let go, and all I had on my line was some fish bites and a piece of shrimp, so it was time to go home. But we had a good afternoon.